Greetings, back with another one. Now I haven't gotten into Gears of War Reloaded yet. I know it launched was it like a few days ago. I haven't got into it yet, but I will. But I've been hearing there's been like some complaints about it, I guess in terms of matchmaking and something like that. But I got this article with Game Rant, and it says Gears of War Reloaded, the case for and against fixing the Gnasher. Fixing the Gnasher? Um, I guess now as a veteran, here's the thing. Now, if they mean by fixing the Gnasher, because of hit detection and the gun just doesn't work, the shots don't register, then that's fine. But let me just get into it, and then of course I'll input my 31 cents as always. But it says, wait a minute, let me fix this. See, this is what happens when you're doing other stuff. Hmm. Usually I have the window here. There you go. So you guys can see what I'm reading here. Yeah, this is what happens when you're not prepared. Usually I have it all set up before I start recording. But anyway, here we go. It says, Gears of War Reloaded is finally here, bringing the beloved 2006 cover shooter to PlayStation for the first time. This could be viewed as a historic moment in the gaming industry. But even those on Xbox are having fun, traipsing back through Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago's inaugural adventure. And of course, multiplayer is as sweaty and hectic as it's ever been. So that's a plus. It says, but Gears of War Reloaded launch hasn't been entirely smooth. There has been a number of problems reporting with matchmaking and latency, though such rough edges continue to be smoothed down. Now, uh, just to let all you newcomers know, matchmaking in the first Gears game, the first two in particularly, it was kind of hectic. It was kind of an issue, especially in the second game. The second game was by far the worst in terms of the matchmaking, and it was very, very just the bugs and stuff. The second one was so buggy. I mean, it was still fun when you can get a match, but it was so buggy. But the first one had those problems too. But like I said, I haven't got into it yet, but I just wish that they had reworked the entire engine, and they used the same engine for Gears of War 5 and for this new one. But I don't think they did. I think they just reported it, and it's the same game that it has been. But it might be like how, like I said, I haven't got into it yet. It might be like Ultimate Edition, but even then, it's still kind of the old engine. It kind of moves like the old game. Like they polished it a little bit in terms of the way that the graphics look, but as far as the gameplay looks the same. But it says, though rough, edges continue to smooth it down. However, there's another category of complaint that is decidedly specific to Gears of War Reloaded: the strength of the Gnasher shotgun. This iconic, regularly favored weapon has always packed a punch, but now players are wondering if it's a bit overpowered, claiming that Gears of War Reloaded increases the range of the shotgun to make it wildly unbalanced. Well, like I said, I'm a veteran, so when people said that shotgun is overpowered, especially for the first game, well, the first two Gears of Wars in particular, it was all about the Gnasher. It wasn't until like the third game where Cliff Blazinski and Rod Ferguson, all those guys, try to widen the weapon play in Gears of War 3, and started to force us to like use other weapons instead of the Gnasher. I mean, you can still have your shotgun battles, but the third one is kind of where they really changed, and they started adding a little bit more range to the game. But they said overpowered. Like I said, I just had to get into it and see what people are talking about. Like I said, but as a veteran, it probably won't. It probably won't. I probably won't see a difference. But continue. Wait. This sort of complaint isn't entirely uncommon. It echoes the 725 debacle from the 2019 Modern Warfare remake, for instance. Though the highly competitive nature of Gears multiplayer means that the Gnasher's range and DPS combo have drawn a great deal of, of ire. Even so, there's a case to be made for leaving it as it is. Like I said, I just have to get into it. I haven't got into it yet, but I will. I just have to see it for myself. But it says the National might be overpowered in Gears of War Reloaded, but that's the part of the fun. Exactly for me, because I mean that's what Gears of War started out was. I mean the only gun that really kind of got on my nerves or gave me issues in the first Gears of War was the long shot, because with the long shot you get an active reload and it was just an automatic down, and it was so annoying. I mean you have stages that where you had two long shots. So it was just long shot battle back and forth, and it was sometimes slow down fights, and it was just so annoying, man. Because all people had to do, they knew all they had to do was just get that active reload and just get automatic downs and stuff. So I doubt that they changed that. If it's this is just like the first game, but that was so annoying. But other than that, not much of the weapons were a problem. I mean, the boom shot wasn't, you know, ridiculous like it is now, where you can just shoot a wall at somebody and take out like four people without an active reload. I mean, the Gears of War 2 kind of changed that. It was only the first Gears of War where you had to hit someone dead on with the boom shot. I mean, even with an active reload, I think it was just a down. But you had to hit some. You actually had to make contact with the character's body in order to get the gib or the kill. But where are we? Where are we? Oh, naturally, most gamers would prefer a perfectly balanced game over an unbalanced one, but that's not always possible. Indeed, it's unrealistic to expect every single weapon to be an equal power in the game, and some will inevitably rise above others in terms of efficiency. Maybe it's not ideal for a weapon to be as powerful as the Gears of War Reloaded Gnasher. I got to get into it. But such immersed strength and range also means that the Gnasher is undeniably fun to use. Like I said, I'm all about the close quarters and stuff like that. That's what I love about. That's what drew me to Gears in the first place. It wasn't like all of the other games. It wasn't like Battlefield and Call of Duty and stuff like that, where you had more range and you getting sniped and getting assault rifled from 20 clicks away. And it wasn't like that. Gears started this craze of kind of close quarter, just shotgun battles and stuff like that. I mean, it was the other game, I believe it was made by Epic. It was called Unreal Tournament that I used to play on PC. That was kind of like that as well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just had to get into it because if people complaining that the Gnasher out of all weapons is overpowered, I mean, like that's not gonna be too much of a complaint to me. But like I said, I just had to see it for myself. But continue. It's hard to say for certain whether the Gnasher was, for whatever reason, buffed for Reloaded, but the fact of the matter is that it is indeed extremely powerful. It's not a sniper, as some have hyperbolically argued, but it's remarkably effective at mid-range, often capable of downing another player in a single shot. Active reloads. Like I said, the shotgun in Gears of War 1, it was unpredictable. It was very random. Sometimes you'd be close quarters and you wouldn't even get it down. So I mean, like I said, for all the newcomers, like this, I mean, this is what you're going to have to deal with. I mean, like I said, it does get better with Gears of War 3. So hopefully, TC or who's ever in charge of doing this crossover to Sony, just hang in there, man, because it does get better. Like I said a few videos back when I was talking about Gears of War, man, I like I said, I cannot wait till Gears of War 3 comes out. I hope all of you PlayStation players be able to get Gears of War 3, because that's when it really amps up. Continue. Where am I? This makes it the ideal weapon of choice for those interested in filling the role of mid-range shooter. It always this playstyle to flourish greatly. At the same time, it requires a decidedly aggressive approach. It can easily be trumped by a player of equal skill with a sniper or assault rifle. If anything, it encourages a very specific sort of Gears of War playstyle, but it hardly breaks the game entirely. As previously mentioned, Gears of War Reloaded, launched on PlayStation, is one of its most important elements. By Sony fans aren't the only ones getting their hands on the influential shooter for the first time. It's likely that a negligible chunk of Gears of War Reloaded player base is composed of those with little to no experience with the series, and such players could be intimidated or turned off by the ubiquitous power of the Gnasher in its current state. So while an overpowered Gnasher might make for moments of wild and reckless gameplay, it also runs the risk of alienating much of Gears of War's target audience. If the goal is to make Gears of War Reloaded accessible, then something like a Gnasher nerf may be in order down the road. I just have to get into it. I mean, because if the Gnasher is nothing like how it was in the original game, and it's just this new Gnasher we got, honestly, I'm still not gonna complain because the shotgun battles that's what Gears of War was always about. It was always about you had your ranged weapons, but I mean, getting up close and personal, just shredding people. That was the most satisfying thing in Gears of War. It always has been, at least for me. And like I said, that's what separated so many shooters from Gears of War. So I mean, I guess I think a complaint like this is mostly going to come from newcomers. I very much doubt that veterans are complaining about this. I very much doubt it. I can't, cause like I said, we've been playing this game for over 20 years, about 20 years now. So I mean, like I said, this is not new to us. So like I said, I just have to get my hands on it. I saw my buddy, he played it at launch, and I believe they have it in the Game Pass. So I just need to give me like just the cheapest Game Pass I can get, just so I can download and stuff like that. And see, I heard that if you had Ultimate Edition, you'll be able just to get on the game. But I got the Xbox Series S, so it's all digital. So I had the Ultimate Edition on disc, and I had that for the Xbox One. So I gotta get the Game Pass just so I can get my hands on this. And I will get back into streaming this and all that stuff. So this will tie me over until E-Day comes out. But yeah, man, I just had to get into this, man, because I mean, most of these complaints I think is going to come. Like I said, if it's about matchmaking, latency, and hit registration, that's a reasonable complaint for any gamer. It doesn't matter what skill level. It doesn't matter. But just like I said in my video of the past, man, the best way to separate yourself from the people who are really really skilled at this game is your movements. That's what really makes you godlike in Gears of War, man. Like you see all the veterans, you see all the experts. Back when they used to have those esports stuff, like you saw how they move, the wall bouncing and stuff like that. That's where you really have to, really really step up, separating yourself from people who are just getting into it and people who have been playing this for a long time. Really get those movements down. But and even though Gears of War 1 and 2 kind of prohibit you that a little bit, you can still do it. I mean, obviously the movements got better as the Gears of War games were coming out, but you can still do it in the original game, because I had a blast doing it when the Ultimate Edition came out. I had so many clips of me doing it, and I saved them, but Microsoft, they had like this thing when they just started deleting everybody's videos and stuff. I wish I was able to store them somewhere, but it doesn't matter now, because Reloaded, I'm definitely going to make some more clips and some new memories with this one. But yeah, I definitely will get on it, and you guys will see me on it. But another one for the archives, 31 cents at it. It's your brother Bleak signing out. Until next time, you guys. Os!